Let me analyze this through a historiographical lens, examining the evidence and historical context while maintaining scholarly objectivity. The 1880s immigration stance is embodied in Emma Lazarus' 1883 sonnet, The New Colossus, mounted on the Statue of Liberty in 1903. The relevant lines read, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore." This poem reflected a particular historical moment and perspective, not necessarily the dominant political stance of the era. Key contrast between eras: 1880s and 1920s. Context: Industrial Revolution created massive demand for labor. No formal border control system until 1924, with immigration largely unrestricted until the Chinese Exclusion Act, 1882. Significant nativist opposition existed, like the Know Nothing Party and the Immigration Act of 1924. Economic focus was on nation-building and industrial growth, with primary concerns being cultural assimilation and labor competition. Trump administration context, 2017-2021. Post-industrial economy, established immigration bureaucracy, and focus on border security and illegal immigration. Economic concerns about jobs and wages were emphasized. National security emphasized post-9/11, with debate over the asylum system and refugee policies. Trump's major immigration positions included border wall construction and increased deportations. Travel restrictions from certain countries, reduced refugee admissions, merit-based immigration advocacy, and restrictions on family-based immigration were also major positions. Historical parallels and divergences. Labor markets, 1880s, needed massive workforce for industrial expansion. Trump era, concerns about wage competition in service economy. Security, 1880s, focused on ideological threats like anarchism. Trump era, emphasis on terrorism and drug trafficking. Cultural anxiety, 1880s, fear of Catholic, Jewish influence. Trump era, concerns about Islamic extremism and Hispanic integration. The historiographical analysis reveals both eras experienced tension between economic needs and cultural anxieties. The new Colossus represented an idealistic internationalist view, while contemporaneous legislation like the Chinese Exclusion Act demonstrated more restrictionist tendencies. Trump's policies aligned more with the restrictionist traditions of the 1920s Immigration Act than the open-door period of the 1880s. However, this comparison must acknowledge vastly different historical contexts. The 1880s featured no systematic immigration control, while modern policy operates within an established regulatory framework. The huddled masses narrative became mythologized as representing historical American values. But this oversimplifies a complex history of both welcoming and restricting immigrants. Trump's positions, while more restrictive than recent predecessors, have historical precedent in earlier restrictionist periods. Key differences lie in implementation methods and scale. 19th century restrictions targeted specific ethnic groups openly, while modern policies typically cite security or economic rationales. The infrastructure and scope of immigration control have evolved dramatically. This analysis suggests both eras' immigration policies reflected their historical contexts rather than permanent ideological positions. The tension between openness and restriction has been a consistent theme in American immigration policy, with different eras emphasizing different aspects based on their contemporary circumstances. Understanding these policies requires examining them within their respective historical frameworks, rather than judging them against abstract ideals or modern standards. Both huddled masses, ethos, and restrictionist approaches have deep roots in American political tradition, representing ongoing debates about national identity, security, and economic interests.